Hello, last one. So question 4 on paper 1. And what you could really do to find in your little stack of stuff you were given is this sheet. So you could use this as a way of planning your question 4. All right. Now you're all good at talking. You've all got good ideas. Again, you can do this. There's ideas on the sheet, so please just look at them. I'm not going to talk through them now. And then the idea is, think about what you want to put in your first paragraph. Is it going to be language? Is it going to be structure? You can do paragraph 1 on mood, do paragraph 2 on language, paragraph 3 on structure, if you want to. The idea here, this sheet was created for like higher level, that's you lot. So you might think, well, yeah, my first point is going to be about language actually, and then my next point is going to be about mood and atmosphere. If you struggle with this sort of question, it's always good to talk about the mood and the atmosphere first. It just kind of gets you in, and you're like, oh yeah, I get this. And always do talk about if there's a turning point or anything, okay? So back to as a PowerPoint. Question 4, the biggie. Please make sure you've left time for this. This is not the one you want to be flagging on. This is the one when you want to be all guns blazing, okay? Now, what we've talked about before is Eccles is right to panic. There'll always be 2 parts. This part is supposed to be the stretchy part. Yeah, I think Eccles is right to panic. The monster is terrifying. AQA, the people setting your exam, have said you should agree. So, and again, do you do like 3 paragraphs agree, 1 paragraph don't agree? A top level answer would just look at the question and see what they think. It's fine to agree all the way through, it's fine to go backwards and forwards. What you have to do is talk about method, okay? What's been doing, what's the writer doing, and why? All right, because how are you going to make sure you're a clear and convincing plan? Number 1. Number 2, read it through. All right. So yeah, like I say, either plan it. You feel free to use that grid. Feel free to use that grid for this one, and then for the other mini mocks, use the ideas, and then maybe get good on your own, or just think, well, I can do this. I'm just going to look at the question. Underline the key words. Is he right to panic? Is the monster terrifying? Okay. So here are some ideas. And again, the idea is you can pause it and just take your time and read them if you want, or jot them down, or just skim them. How? The extended metaphor. The imagery. Not just imagery, repellent imagery. Oh, it does, yeah, it's stinky. Here's an example paragraph. Here are some nice little sentence starters. If you think, should I zoom? You're being tested on your skill to evaluate, to just bring in everything you know. So talking about structure again, the same person will not mark your answer. So you can, if you feel you need to, you can repeat yourself. You're limited to lines, and this is again where you'd want to box it off. You can talk about the start. If you're talking about the ending, you can go back to the start, but just make sure everything is rooted in the lines that you've boxed off. Okay. We're not going to peer assess. Oh, lordy. Oh, Oh, that's exciting, isn't it? Let's just have a little look at the mark scheme, and then you are good. And this is nearly finished. Here we go. So, what could you talk about? Feel free to pause it. I'm going to move on. Okay. Eccles' reaction changes. At first is calm. Resigned to the fact shooting her is impossible. He feels unprepared. He rifles like a toy gun. He begins to panic. We empathise with his reaction. Skin implies, okay? So again, method and implies. I'm sure AQA have talked about this question being the how and the why. So how does a writer do it? Method. Why? What does it imply? Okay? And again, if you need to just write that on your write it down. So question 1, you should be okay. Question 2, if you're talking about the effects, suggests. Question 3, again, so you know why, linking it back. Question 4, implies. Something we did, I think we did, was looking at that like granddad acronym. So where, and that just, which I found really useful. The G is think about the genre of the text. So what would you expect? What sort of characters, what sort of setting would you expect from a sci-fi piece? And then the first R was reader response. A, archetypes. Do you always get sort of a weak one, or one that, in sci-fi, I don't watch loads or read loads either, but don't you always get the sort of, the weak one who's going to let everybody down, and that's like Eccles. So archetypes, characters typical to, this thing. N, was that narrator? Don't know, I'll come back to that. D would have been descriptions of setting, and the other D is descriptions of characters, so that you like the way he describes his gun and how it changes. And A is probably atmosphere. So again, just little ways in of unpicking stuff. And again, if you work through that mini mocks booklet, you've also got the glass and bricks and dust, I hope, and if you haven't, I'll forward it to you. Apply those principles. 20 minutes writing time. Good luck.